Hi guys, it's me, Emily. Um, I wanted to do an update video on my life. So I'll be speaking in this voice for you. Sorry I look so pale. I'm staying in an empty house right now and it's like hard to get the lighting right, so I'm by the window. So sorry if I'm squinting a lot. I'm gonna be smoking in this video just because I'm gonna be talking about some stressful things and I don't want to start crying. So, I'm definitely very positive about my life, but the things I'm going to tell you are gonna sound a bit depressing. So, if you're not in the mood to, listen to that sort of thing, please don't watch this video. But, if anything, I just sort of have to get this off my chest because I want to be open with you guys. And I feel like we share a connection, like a like a relationship somehow, like a friendship. And I wouldn't like lie to or hide things from my friends. So I want to treat you guys with that same respect. Yeah, so let me light my cigarette. It's gonna be my favorite. I'm sorry my makeup's really janky. I slept in it last night. I'll explain to you my current living situation and why I slept in my makeup. But yeah, so it's kind of smudgy. I tried to fix it a little, but whatever. Please do like this video if you like rambling or smoking videos, or if you like support me or something. Also, I mean, you don't have to comment, but I love reading the comments, and they've slowed down lately. Like, I only got a handful a day, and I used to get a lot more. I think it's probably just because I haven't put out a new video soon or lately, but I don't know. So just comment, and if you have any advice for me, please let me know. I'm just looking for, I don't even know what I'm looking for. Just someone to tell me that it's gonna be okay, I guess. But anyways, let me light this. Sorry, did you hear my jaw pop? I don't know if you can hear that clicking, but my father punched me in the face when I was in 5th grade because I couldn't drill in this cabinet right, because I was too weak to hold the drill, and it dislocated my jaw, and we never went to the hospital because it's kind of like, what am I can't say my dad hit me, like it sounds awful. So my jaw always pops when I open my mouth really widely. It's really fun. Anyways, about a week before Christmas, I've been living with my best friend Heather. We got that new house. I was gonna do a room tour. I actually filmed one twice, but I just didn't like either of them, so I deleted them. It was always like messy, or the camera was shaky, and actually the second one I made, I don't know why, but I was breathing really heavily in the whole video, and I just felt like a Yeti like lurking in the background or something, so I didn't want to upload that. I'm thinking about creating another channel just for like short little fun videos or bloopers or mess ups or things that I think are funny that happen in my life. So I don't know. I don't know if it would even be worth it, or if you guys would want to see that. But if you do, just let me know. Like, even if just like one or two people want to, it's not that hard for me to do. Plus, the videos I'd be uploading would be much shorter, like a minute or something. So they would take a shorter amount of time to upload. So I'd probably be able to upload them right from my phone at Wi-Fi hotspots. So I'd be able to update that channel quicker than I can with this one, because these videos take quite a while to process, as I'm sure you other ASM artists know. So I've been living with Heather since August, I believe, at a house that's, let's see, it's 9th Avenue, and one of the main streets here is 4th Avenue. So it's really close to like downtown, which is considered like 4th Avenue, and then a couple blocks south of that is like downtown where it starts. So that's where all the cool boutiques and local art shops and glass blowing shops and bars and restaurants are. That's pretty much all Tucson has for people my age, unless you drive somewhere obscure. Like there's a really cool glassblowing studio near the freeway, but it's not downtown. Anyways, I'm just rambling right now. Anyways, so I was living with Heather, and we were going to have one of our mutual friends move in about a couple days before Christmas, like about a week or 5 days or 3 days, something. I don't actually remember because I'm bad at remembering things. Anyways, so our friend was gonna spend the night and move in and brought a bunch of his things, and he was just gonna stay on our couch because he's living with his parents still and just got in a very bad car accident. Not his fault. Somebody hit him and totaled his car, and now he's got severe neck and back pain, and the doctors aren't doing anything about it till the end of this month. Anyways, all he's been given is like 800 milligram ibuprofen, and they told him to use a heating pad, which I think is crap, but he's getting physical therapy starting at the end of this month, so that's good. Anyways, he was gonna move in with us, and we were drinking that night and doing drugs and just kind of partying, celebrating him moving in. And Heather and I sort of had a falling out, and I don't want to say attacked me, but like tackled me to the ground. And it really scared me because she was drunk and very strong, and there wasn't much I could do, so I like kneed her and tried to get her off of me, and I ran to my car with my guy friend who was gonna drive, because I was drinking and I couldn't drive. And she held onto the door as we drove away and skinned up her knees really badly. And my friend ended up calling the cops, which I suggested not to do because I felt, I don't know, it was a weird feeling. It definitely, obviously made our relationship a lot more rocky, and we decided from that point on that we shouldn't live together because I think we were spending too much time together and our friendship was like suffering for that. And that it was, oh great, the recycling truck is coming. I hope you guys didn't hear that. It's pretty squeaky and squealy, so it's not really the best for ASMR. All right, so the damn recycling truck just drove by here 3 times, so I had to stop filming. It was too much. But anyways, so our friendship was rocky, and since she sort of attacked me, it broke our lease, and I moved in with my boyfriend, who, as some of you may know, is dealing with a drug-induced psychosis, which I'm familiar with. I've known people my father, one of my exes, a friend, acquaintance, sort of one of my friend's cousins, I guess I should say more specifically. All of those people have gone through sort of psychotic episodes that I've known of from taking certain drugs like Molly was for my current boyfriend and my ex-boyfriend, and shrooms was for my friend's cousin, and I believe my dad was on bath salts, but he had meant to get like morphine. So anyways, I'm familiar with that, and he's been going to, well, he was enrolled in an inpatient program at the best program for drug-induced psychosis in all of Tucson. The most expensive, the most appraised, I don't know, like people give it praise. I think appraised means like if someone like appraised your vehicle or something, so that I used that totally wrong. But English is weird, so even though it totally is my first language. Anyways, I was rambling about depressing shit, so I started over again. So I moved in with my boyfriend, who was in an inpatient program, and after his 4th day or 5th, they kicked him out because they said there was nothing they could do to help him because he was too psychotic. So he's been going to AA meetings and NA meetings and church, which is a bit different. Neither he nor I are very religious or have ever been. Well, I haven't been since I was 15, but before that I grew up essentially, I want to like Mormon. I went to Mormon church all the time. All my friends were Mormon. I followed the Mormon dress code. I never cursed I never said the F word out loud in my entire life. Not even in like my room whispering it. I never said it out loud till I was 16. And now I do all the time, probably too much. It's really unattractive, but I'm trying to stop. So I moved in with my boyfriend, and we've only been dating for like 3 or 4 months. So it wasn't the best living situation, but it is on 4th Avenue, the street I mentioned earlier where everything is. And I could literally walk everywhere. So it was really nice. I lived there for about a week or 2, and all my stuff is there. I moved my stuff from my house on 9th Avenue to my boyfriend's house on 4th Avenue. My bed, my 3 cats, I'm sorry, this is really hard to say out loud. My boyfriend was diagnosed with a dissociative identity disorder, which is comparable to multiple personality disorder. Basically what happens is he dissociates into different personas and becomes different people sometimes. And then when he becomes back himself, he has no recollection of that. It's almost like he blacked out and goes crazy. A month ago, he was at a Walmart and he wanted to see if the melatonin he was buying, because he's an insomniac too, he actually watched a bunch of my videos last night and liked them, which was nice because we haven't seen each other in a while. I'm ashing into one of those Starbucks iced coffee cans right behind the phone. It's propping my phone up right now. He ended up punching a guy at Walmart because an old man said he was going to call the cops on him for opening the pill bottle. So he threw it at him and ran through the Walmart, smashed security cameras, ran down aisles, throwing everything on the floor, and then ran out. And a security guard was trying to apprehend him, put his hand on his shoulder. He turned around and punched him in the eye, busted his eye open. So he has no recollection of that either. And last weekend, today's now Wednesday, so I've been homeless since Saturday, and I'm going to be homeless until the 17th because he assaulted me in the car when I was driving. And I was going 65 miles per hour, going to pick up my friend that actually was going to live with us, and was there when Heather attacked me, because he, as I said, his car is totaled, and so I was driving him to work because he gives me jewelry or like $5 for gas, and I don't have a place to stay, so I'm driving around all day. He dissociated and thought I was his mother, who he has a very strained relationship with, and started cursing at me, yelling at me. And then he strangled me and slammed my head into the window and held it there, and held his hand around my throat and one hand against my jaw. Like there was a face print of this on my driver's side window. And I was in the left lane going 65 and a 55 because I always speed. I actually just got a ticket today, which I can't afford, and I didn't have an address for them to send information to because I'm homeless. And he still fucking gave me a ticket. I was going 10 miles over on Speedway. It's literally called Speedway. I'm like, people speed on this road. Are you an idiot? Anyways, I explained to him my situation, that I was assaulted twice, and Heather was almost arrested, but she went to the hospital for her scraped up knees, and Sevon actually ended up being arrested that night. So there's police reports on both. And anyways, I'm going to court to contest it because that cop was a real asshole to me. Anyways, so he smashed my face into the window and strangled me, and my eyesight started to go because I didn't have oxygen. And I veered into the median a little bit. And just as my car started to go off the road, it like scared him and shocked him into like out of his dissociation. So his blackout was over, and all of a sudden all he remembers, since like he didn't remember the drive at all. He had dissociated apparently before we left. When he was on the phone with his mom like 5 minutes before we left, he had dissociated because he was talking to her. And he gets into a different persona when he speaks with different people. And he gets into a really dangerous one when he speaks to his parents. He talks about killing them. He talks about killing my ex-boyfriends, my father, for what they've done to me. it's just not a good thing. So after he let go of my throat, my vision like turned back on and I veered back into the road. The car made this awful sound. I'm sorry, I need another cigarette. I'm a little bit stressed. I almost started to cry there for a second. I don't know if you guys noticed like 5 minutes ago or something, but that's better. I pulled over to the side of the road and said, "Get out of my car." And he didn't. So I said, "Get the fuck out of my car right now." And he said, "No." And he didn't know what had just happened. He thought I wasn't paying attention and veered off the road. And I had no idea that he was dissociated. Like, I knew he was dissociated, but I didn't know that he didn't remember strangling me 30 seconds prior. So I said, "Get out of the car or I'm going to call the cops." And he is Puerto Rican and we live in Arizona, and he's definitely experienced a lot of racism from policemen all the time, literally. I understand that I'm very privileged because I am white, basically, which means nothing to me. But since I've been dating like multiracial people since I've been dating, it's opened my eyes to a lot about racism that I had never experienced before. My first boyfriend was white and we were together for a couple of years. So I didn't start dating people of different races until I was about 18. And I've experienced a lot of racism through their eyes in the past years. But he looks very ethnically ambiguous, and some people could say he looks either Saudi Arabian or Mexican, which people are very racist towards them in Tucson. And I don't understand why. It really pisses me off. I've done a lot of activism for it when I was a teenager, before I even really understood what I was doing, but I was trying to do something because that's when I started to see it happening to my boyfriends and my friends and people around me. I went to a high school in what's called Oro Valley. It's the northwest side of the town, and it's basically where fucking old, rich white people live. So our school was very rich. I believe we had less than 10 black people in our school of 2,500. So not very diverse. And now I live downtown and date different people, and I'm friends with all sorts of people, and it's very unfortunate that this happened. So anyways, I threatened to call the cops. It started to give him PTSD, and he stole my phone and ran out of my car and ran into the desert. And I sped off. It was like a movie. I was slapping him to get him out of my car. I punched him in the forehead, trying to give him a concussion because I was so scared that he was like, I had almost just flipped my car. Like, I could have died. We could have died. Like, I'm in a very small car and there was a divot in the median. I was going almost 70. So I was in fight or flight mode and I was trying to flee, but I could not flee without fighting, I guess, fighting him away. So I sped off and the door slammed shut and I was crying and panting and very out of breath and very scared. And I didn't have my phone, so I knew I needed it. I was about to pick up my friend. Literally, I make my video, like I have videos on this phone that's very important to me that I wouldn't be able to replace. I I don't know. It's everything. And being without Wi-Fi, I couldn't even use my computer to get on Facebook or get to my accounts. And if he had my phone and associated, he could open it, go through everything, mess with my YouTube channel if he wanted to. I don't think that he would, but he is a different person when these episodes happen, and he wouldn't do that. But I don't know if one of his like alter egos might try to hack my accounts. So it was better to be safe than sorry. Sorry, my phone just cut out. I ran out of memory in my camera because I have an inordinate amount of photos, so I apologize. Basically, long story short, he went to the hospital, he got arrested, he spent the night in jail. I can't communicate with him until the 26th of this month, or else he could go to jail for up to a year, which neither of us wants because that would ruin his life. He wants to be a lawyer, and I don't think that that looks very good trying to get into law school. So where I am right now, because I'm obviously in a house, this is my old house. I explained my situation to my old landlady, and since I still had some of my things in this house, like I knew, well, I thought I could stay here. But she's getting the locks changed on Sunday so that I cannot stay here anymore on purpose. Even though we already paid for our last month's rent up front, and we already paid for December, and this is just the beginning of January. I believe it's the 6th. I don't know. Basically, she's being a real see you next Tuesday about it, even though we already paid our last month's rent and a massive, massive deposit, and she's threatening not to give that back. So I'm gonna take her to court because it's common sense that if the person that you signed the lease with assaulted you and there's a police report, then obviously the lease would be broken. Like, I don't know. So it's basically just one shit show after another. I need another cigarette. And I got a ticket this morning on Speedway, like I said. And then I come to this empty house, which I can only stay in until Sunday, and it's Wednesday. And then I'm homeless for a week, living out of my car. So that will be really fun. I'm 22. I just feel like I shouldn't be stuck where I am right now with no options. should have my shit together. I can't even count on both hands anymore the amount of times I've been abused. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I keep doing wrong. But the studio I'm moving into is very near to downtown as well. It's actually where my friend Tessa is living now. It's small, but spacious for a studio, and it's got these separations and it's lovely. So I'm excited for that. And I also might get a part-time job doing register at a pizza place called Fresco, where they use like fresh local ingredients. So that's cool. Because one of my main issues with finding a job is that most of my experience has been either retail or food, and because of my morals, I don't like to work for a lot of companies that I feel are immoral in either their pay, how they obtain their foods or their merchandise, or controversies surrounding them, products they may have put out that may have been controversial or downright offensive. Like I believe Urban Outfitters, yeah, I haven't shopped there in like 4 or 5 years, ever since I found this out. They put out a shirt that said something like barf more, and they also put out a shirt shaming gay people. They put out a shirt that offended several Native American cultures. I mean, the list goes on and on. You can really just Google it. But they're like the worst company. And the owner of American Apparel, those were 2 stores that I shopped at mainly before I found these things out when I was like 17. His name is Doug Charney, and he has sex with his underage models and steals other people's photography and ideas and sells them. Like, I know of a local LA clothing artist that has had designs blatantly ripped off by American Apparel. And she's got like only a couple thousand followers on her Instagram, which is her like fashion blog thing. So there's no way she could fight this. And I don't know. So it's been hard for me to find work that I agree with doing, and my experience is very limited. I was a manager of an office, and I've done a lot of office work just because my father owns an office, and I worked for him, and I still do data entry for them. My mom works there too. And also I was a manager of a different, like a vacuum company office, and I was like the head manager of hiring and firing. So I did interviews and hired people and trained them, but most of my experience is retail. And most clothing companies do not acquire their clothing through a good means. I guess what I'm trying to say is they use sweatshops, which I disagree with, and I refuse to work for a company that I know does that. So yeah, it's been rough. So I'm really hoping for this Fresco job to go through. And if not that, I'm going to apply again to Bookman's because I just don't understand. Like, I think I would be kind of perfect at that job. I love reading. I love music. They've got vinyl records there. I love video games. They sell video games. I love music. They sell instruments. They sell like weird antique things, which I love, obviously. Like everything that I own almost is thrifted. Furniture, art, clothing, jewelry. Most of it is not purchased from somewhere like new. So I don't know. But I'm excited about possibly getting a part-time job just to supplement my YouTube income and to, like, I'm literally living, YouTube only pays you once a month at the end of the month, and not even then sometimes. Sometimes they don't pay you for 2 months. And it's nice because I literally never expected to make money off of this, ever. I'm so, like, when people ask me what I do, I tell them I'm professionally boring. I put people to sleep for a living. Like, I'm not a cool, hip, trendy person. Like, I'm kind of a weirdo and very much a loner. I know everybody says that, but like, I'm alone right now. I have gotten offers to hang out with people today and said no because I want to be alone in a fucking empty house that carries terrible memories for me just because it's the only place I can go. And I'd like to be alone, so. I'm so sorry about that. There was something under my nail. It's really gross. See, that's an example. I am not cool. I don't know. So I sort of just made this channel thinking like, wow, I hope one day I'll get to 100 subscribers. Like, if I tell all my friends or something. But it's been so positive. Like I said, I never expected anyone to like watching my videos or subscribe to me or request that I do something because they want to see it from me and not the like million other ASM artists that there are. Oh, I'm wearing a blanket because there's no electricity in this house or water. So it's very cold. If there's one thing this house is good at, it's insulation. And I guess we left a window cracked, this window actually, last night, and it got into the 30s, which is cold. Like, it's the coldest Tucson gets. And it only lasts, winter here lasts like 2 weeks, seriously. Like, I didn't have any coats, so I was using my boyfriend's, and then I had to buy one, so I bought this like well, he bought it for me, this fluffy thing. Um, I love it. Anyways, I literally didn't have any coats because it never gets cold here, and this has been one of the colder winters. It actually snowed for a bit on New Year's Eve at night, yeah. Because I didn't do anything. I was sleeping, and my boyfriend went out with his friends and came home at midnight to kiss me and told me that it had snowed and it already melted downtown, but I guess it snowed for like a half hour, which is really cool. It hasn't snowed here for 4 years. Um, and we thought the last time it snowed that was going to be the very last time. So, yay, global warming fucking with everything. Oh, I said that one time, and some stupid bitch was like, if it's global warming, then why is it getting colder? I was like, I'm sorry, are you actually the biggest idiot of my life? Because sorry, the neighbors are like drug dealers and they keep getting cars in and out of their driveway. Actually, there was a ton of cops outside of their house when I got here today that I had to speak with about 5 minutes after a really asshole cop gave me a ticket. So I was not in the mood. And anyways, other neighbors have been complaining about cars in and out all times of day, all times of night, and how they never leave, and how they have a pit bull that they keep in the backyard, emaciated, so it's always angry and wants to attack people. It actually is part of the reason that I was okay with leaving this house, is because the neighbors have been such terrible neighbors this whole time. They're right next door, and their dogs always bark. Their pit bull hops in our backyard. We leave out, well, left out a plate of cat food for the strays. I've almost always done that everywhere I've lived. So I did that here. And the strays would come by and it was lovely. But this fucking dog hops over, and I'm glad that it's eating. I'm glad that I'm the one that's able to feed it. But it comes over and eats all the food ravenously. Like, it's not eaten for days, and it looks terrible. Like, its fur is falling out. You can see every rib and its spine, and its face always has cuts. I don't know if it just digs around a lot or if they like have hit it. But anyways, so the cops can't get a warrant on neighbors having suspicions of drug stuff, so they were able to do something when we told them about the animals, because it's an open fence and they'd be able to see visually how abused this dog is and do something about it. And they never opened the door, so I'm guessing they're working on getting a warrant. But I'm about to call them after I finish making this video. So yay for talking to cops 3 times in one fucking day. But anyways, I'm kind of sick of it. My bullshit meter is overflowing. So like, I genuinely don't want to get people in trouble, but this is affecting multiple people's lives. That dog attacked my other neighbor, my other next door neighbor's child, when she was walking to like school or walking home from the bus stop or something. Charged at her and bit her on the leg. And dogs don't just do that. You know what I mean? They're domesticated. They like people, generally. And this dog had to have had some stuff happen to it for that to have happened. And it's dangerous. He literally jumped over the fence when the policemen were there and started charging at one of the cops, and the cop ran away. It was kind of funny, but like dogs don't just hop a chain link fence into yards and attack people. Like, I can't imagine any dog is born and raised perfectly and still does that. I just don't believe that evilness is within an animal, which is why I wanted to be a vet and I wanted to go back to school this semester. But obviously, I can't start school on the 12th if I'm homeless until the 17th. So I'm pretty pissed off about that, actually. But I'll take summer classes, I'll make up for it, whatever, you know? Life hands you these things, and all you can do is make the best of the situation. So, I mean, I don't have all my clothes. I'm living out of a massive Savers bag. Savers is like a Goodwill. Oh, I lost my cherry. Hang on. So I'm living out of a Savers bag and 2 Target bags. I have about 10 pairs of clean underwear. So hopefully that'll last me about 2 weeks, which it's not going to. So I'm going to have to be washing my underwear in gas station bathrooms or Walmart bathrooms, which is always fun. But hey, it's not the first time I've been homeless. It's not that I'm, you know, desolate. I am going to be able to get a place on the 17th, one that I can actually afford. This house is a bit expensive. Anyways, I'm very lucky, I feel, because I have a car. I am going to be able to get a place. I have you guys. I have my phone. I have some clothing. And today I finally got my cats. He told me that he was going to leave for a meeting at about noon and not be back for an hour, so I had an hour to get things, which was a wonderful opportunity. So I of course got my cats, and you know, their litter and their food and scratching thing and some toys. So I'm lucky. But I hate doing this, and it's why I've waited till the end of the video. God. But I have $200 to my name right now, and I don't know when the next time I'm getting paid is, because YouTube likes to make that a little fun guessing game for all of us. it didn't, I didn't receive any money for the month of December. And I'm probably not going to see anything until the end of this month, if not the end of next month. So, fuck. I really, I hate asking people to donate. I feel like I don't know. I hate begging. But I will not be able to move into a new place unless I can give them $400. I've been spending a lot of money on gas because, well, the past 3 days I didn't know I could stay in this house. I didn't know the locks hadn't been changed already. But she's changing them Sunday. She's giving me, let's see, tonight, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. 4 nights in a house. When I paid for this whole fucking month, she's not letting me stay. Not even till the 17th. So I've been driving a lot because I'm afraid to sleep in my car. I've done it before, but you don't really sleep well when you're in a parking lot or at the end of a cul-de-sac. Knowing that you're one punch through a window away from being kidnapped and raped, which which is really not something I'm trying to have happen again. So I wanted to ask you guys, I've got a PayPal account for people to donate. I have like one link to it on my YouTube, I think, but I was just gonna link it in the information here to just sort of ask you guys if you have like 50 cents or $1 that you're not using, like instead of buying a water bottle or a pack of gum from Circle K, if you could please PayPal me that $1, it would help me not be homeless. And then I'd be able to make more videos for you guys because outside is very noisy and it's kind of hard to film if I'm wearing dirty clothes and can't wash my hands or shower or even really go to the bathroom except in like Walmart. So I keep mentioning Walmart because you're legally allowed to sleep in their parking lots. So when I was homeless before, that's what I did. And I would wake up and go into Walmart and sort of shower my hair under the soap dispenser and rinse out my armpits and go to the bathroom there. So anyways, it would be nice to have a house to live in on the 17th and not live on the street. So like literally it doesn't have to be like, you know, an inordinate amount of money, like $20 or something. I'm not asking anybody to send me anything that they don't genuinely want to or can't afford. I I have been in the same position where I'm like, I don't have money right now. I can't donate. But I've also been in the position where I've had money and had donated. And if even half of you guys that watch this donated like 50 cents, that would be enough for me to get a host. Because I know probably about 1,000 of you will see this. And if I'm doing my math right, that means it would be, if half of you donated 50 cents, 500 people donating 50 cents would be about, what, $250? And I need 200 more to move in. And I'll probably need the 50 as well because I don't know how I'm gonna eat. Like, I haven't eaten in a couple of days. And I have to purchase water to drink because I don't have a hose. I can't just get it from the faucet. So it would just be lovely if you could do that. And as sort of an incentive, just because I really I am begging, I don't know what to do if I don't get this house. And I'm honestly worried what I might do because I'm almost out of my medication and I know how I feel when I'm not on it. So I've tried to kill myself before 6 times. I put a gun in my mouth that was loaded and pulled the trigger. The safety was on. So yeah, I'm sorry this isn't very relaxing. I'm gonna just go. I'm so sorry. I hope you fall asleep. Watch somebody else's video. You guys should just all unsubscribe to me. I'll try to go to like McDonald's or Starbucks or something and use their Wi-Fi so I can upload this. Because I love you guys and I feel like shit for not having posted a video in so long. And I don't know. I love you guys. I'm gonna go and try to collect myself. Good night.